Look, a big box. Well, welcome back to YVR Traveler. Today, we're flying from Manila to Vancouver in business class on Air Canada. Started April of this year, Air Canada has direct flights from Vancouver to Manila and vice versa. This is great news for most of us traveling this route. Before, Philippines Airlines was the only option that can fly direct. So here we are arriving in Naiya 3, also known as Terminal 3. As you can see, the drop-off area was pretty busy. We finally got inside the terminal. Now let's check out how busy the counter is. I was surprised how busy the economy class check-in was. By the way, inside that box, it's my bike. Check-in in business class was pretty easy. Unfortunately, not for economy class. Overflow. 21 cbm. Oh, sorry, kilos. Immigration and security was pretty quick, so now let's head up to the lounge. Air Canada does not have its own lounge in Naiya 3, but we do get to use Singapore Airlines lounge. The aircraft we're taking today is a Boeing 787-9 Dreamliner, and it's 7.2 years old. The lounge is actually pretty decent. Here's a look of all the foods available. Wasn't super hungry, so I just settled for a little bit of dim sum. The lounge was kind of empty, and I figured it's because the Singapore flight was different from our Air Canada flight. I didn't mind at all because I had the lounge almost all to myself. Time to head to the gate, and it's kind of weird because this is the first time I ever used gate 116. FYI, you do have to go down a set of stairs. Wow, this flight was really busy and there was a lot of people in wheelchairs. As you can see, the gate was kind of small, and because it's a full flight, it was only standing room only. Finally, it's time to board the plane. We had to wait here for a little bit because of all the people that needed wheelchair access. So we were here for at least 3 to 5 minutes before we actually get on the plane. It's always awesome to turn left instead of right when boarding the plane. The configuration in business class is 1-2-1, and there's a total of 30 seats. My seat is located at the front of the plane, 1G. My opinion of people that takes business class is that most of them are corporate, which they don't pay. or people like me that uses points for upgrade. Of course, there's going to be people that are rich enough to pay for these expensive seats. Anyways, let's check out this seat. It's a pretty nice seat for a 7-year-old plane. There's a pair of slippers, blanket, seat cover. Here's the controls. Also, a little light for the side. A pair of headphones. Amenity kit. Here's a cupboard to put your stuff. A small compartment there, and lots of leg space, of course. Inside this little compartment was an extra controller, your headphone jacks, and charging. So let's see what they give you in the amenity kit. A dental kit, earplugs, eye mask, a pair of socks, which I never use, a hand cream, and I think that's about it. Oh, a little piece of cloth for your glasses. So you do have to put on the seat cover yourself, which is, I think, is a hygienic way to travel. Entertainment on this big screen was great. Lots of movie, lots of choices. Here's the menu for this flight. There are 2 meal service, and of course there's a snack in between. The main is what we're gonna have first, and of course breakfast before we land. Menu has a lot of Filipino inspired dishes: chicken and salt, grilled prawn with coconut cream, pad thai, and of course for breakfast there's just omelet or pork tocino.
This afternoon is going to take us northeast bound out of the Philippines. We're going to be going east of Hong Kong and also east of Taiwan, and that will be just paralleling the east coast of Japan and out over the North Pacific. Be south of the Aleutian Islands, and then we'll be making landfall on the west coast of Vancouver Island over Port Hardy and then over Powell River and arriving into Vancouver from the northwest.
We departed the gate pretty much on time. Manila airport is pretty small, so it's very common to see planes like this Cebu Pacific moving right beside us. Here we are, about to take off, but because there's only one runway, we have to wait for this plane to land before we can take off ourselves. As you can see, it was pretty busy. There were a lot of airplanes behind us, and there you go, you can see this one just landed, and I guess we'll be next to take off. We took off at 10 a.m. By the way, this video was shot in May of 2025. Sorry for the delay. I get kind of lazy sometimes. As soon as we reached altitude, they did give us this hot towel. I'm checking out this blanket, which is a lot better than this blanket that we get in premium economy or economy. We were getting our first meal service. Of course, there is a tablecloth, and the tray was large and solid. They did give us some nuts, and I did order a ginger ale. Thank you. So we started with a fresh seasoned green salad with balsamic vinaigrette. and smoked Dutch breast slices.
This was just right here or go back.
The mango slaw underneath the breast was excellent. I must admit the food this time was excellent compared to my previous flight on Air Canada. I think this may be because it's business class versus premium economy, but nevertheless, food was excellent. For the main course, I picked the grilled prawns with coconut cream, yellow rice, bell pepper, and eggplant baton. I was very happy with this selection. The dish was excellent and the creaminess of the prawn was very good. As you can tell with the empty plate, the meal was excellent. After the main meal, they came by with cheesecake. Nothing special about this, it was kind of like just store-bought. After meal service, they started to turn down the cabin, so it's time to relax, watch a movie, and maybe try to get some sleep. Here's a quick washroom check. Everything was pretty much nice and clean. This washroom was located right beside the cockpit, so I didn't expect it to be that large. Nevertheless, it was a decent, clean washroom. Halfway through the flight, they did offer us some snacks. I did order the chicken satay skewers, and it was very, very good. I was able to get several hours of sleep, which was nice, and now it's time for the last meal service. I chose the cheese omelet with roasted potatoes, bacon, and sauteed mushrooms and tomatoes. It also came with muesli, fresh fruits, and of course, I had a cup of coffee. I really liked the muesli with blueberries. It was nice and refreshing. And the omelet with the tomato sauce was quite nice as well. Overall, it was an excellent breakfast. Just reviewing the Air Canada service, yes, it's pretty good. Of course, it's very different from Asian Airlines, but overall, it was a pretty good service on this flight. I do really enjoy these direct flights instead of going through a transit country like Taiwan or Hong Kong or Japan. It does save a lot of time in travel. About 5 months ago, I did take a direct flight on Philippines Airlines in business class. However, the plane was much older, so this airplane, Air Canada, it's a much better equipment and a much more enjoyable flight. Well, that was a very noisy landing. Overall, it was an excellent experience flying Air Canada business class. I'm so glad that there is now two options instead of just Philippine Airlines going direct. We arrived around 6 a.m. to a very sunny morning in Vancouver. I've taken many economy flights, but to get on a business class flight is much more enjoyable. However, in the future, you'll see me flying in business class, premium economy, and even back to regular economy. But do watch out for my next video where I take business class on Air Canada from Vancouver to Manila. By the way, if you like this video, please like and subscribe. I'm just doing this for fun. I don't make any money off of these videos at all. I got to the luggage carousel rather quickly, so had to wait a little bit. Well, this is about the end of the video. I just have to go and pick up my bike at the oversized luggage area. I'm glad that it arrived in one piece. Well, see you next time.